Sustainable development has emerged as a key concept in both global economics and policymaking, driven by the growing recognition that traditional models of economic growth often come at significant environmental and social costs. Macroeconomics, with its focus on the overall functioning of economies, is uniquely positioned to explore sustainable development. In this lecture, we will define sustainable development, explore its economic dimensions, and examine how macroeconomic policies can support sustainability goals. We will also look at the challenges and trade-offs involved in balancing economic growth with environmental and social sustainability. Defining sustainable development. The most widely accepted definition of sustainable development comes from the 1987 Brundtland Report, which states that it is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This definition implies a balance between three main pillars. Economic sustainability, the ability of an economy to grow without creating negative externalities, such as resource depletion or social inequality. Environmental sustainability, the preservation of natural resources and ecosystems, so that they continue to provide essential services for future generations. Social sustainability, the promotion of social equity, including access to resources, justice, and opportunities for all. These pillars interact in complex ways, and one of the main challenges of sustainable development is ensuring that economic growth enhances, rather than undermines, environmental and social well-being. Economic growth and sustainability. Traditional macroeconomic models emphasize economic growth as a key driver of prosperity. Growth is measured by changes in gross domestic product, GDP, which captures the total value of goods and services produced within an economy. While GDP is a useful indicator of economic activity, it has limitations when assessing sustainability. Externalities. GDP does not account for negative externalities, such as pollution, deforestation, or greenhouse gas emissions, which can have long-term costs for the environment and human health. Resource depletion. GDP growth can be driven by the exploitation of finite natural resources, such as fossil fuels or minerals, without considering the exhaustion of these resources. Income inequality. Economic growth can be unequally distributed, leading to disparities in wealth and access to resources, undermining social sustainability. To address these issues, economists have proposed new ways to measure progress, such as the Genuine Progress Indicator, GPI, or the Human Development Index, HDI, which incorporate environmental and social factors alongside economic output. Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. In 2015, the United Nations adopted the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, a set of 17 global objectives aimed at promoting sustainability across a range of dimensions. These goals include no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnerships for the goals. Many of these goals directly intersect with macroeconomic policy. For instance, Goal 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth, emphasizes the need for sustained, inclusive economic growth, while Goal 13, Climate Action, calls for urgent measures to combat climate change and its impacts. The role of macroeconomic policy in sustainable development. Macroeconomic policy has a critical role in promoting sustainable development by shaping incentives, regulating economic activity, and redistributing resources. The following sections highlight key macroeconomic tools that can support sustainability. Fiscal policy. Governments use fiscal policy to influence economic activity through taxation, spending, and borrowing. Sustainable development requires governments to invest in green infrastructure, renewable energy, public transport, energy-efficient buildings, to reduce carbon emissions. Use carbon pricing mechanisms, such as carbon taxes or cap and trade systems, to internalize the environmental costs of pollution. Subsidize research and development in sustainable technologies to spur innovation in clean energy, waste management, and resource efficiency. Implement progressive taxation to reduce income inequality and promote social equity. Monetary policy. Central banks influence economic growth and inflation by setting interest rates and controlling the money supply. To support sustainability, central banks can adopt green quantitative easing, which involves purchasing green bonds to finance environmentally sustainable projects. Monetary authorities can develop climate risk assessment frameworks to incorporate environmental risks into financial regulation and supervision. Trade policy. International trade can drive economic growth, but also lead to environmental degradation and social inequalities. Sustainable trade policy should encourage the adoption of environmental standards in trade agreements, promoting environmentally friendly production, and reducing the carbon footprint of global supply chains. Support fair trade practices, ensuring that producers in developing countries receive a fair price for their goods, while promoting environmental and social sustainability. The green economy and circular economy models. Two economic models have gained prominence in the sustainable development discourse: the green economy and the circular economy. Green economy. This model prioritizes economic growth while ensuring that natural assets continue to provide the resources and environmental services upon which our well-being relies. A green economy emphasizes low carbon development, reducing dependence on fossil fuels and promoting renewable energy sources. Resource efficiency, ensuring that economies use fewer resources to produce goods and services. Social inclusion, creating jobs and economic opportunities in the green sector. Circular economy, in contrast to the linear model of production, which follows a take-make-dispose approach, the circular economy aims to keep products, materials, and resources in use for as long as possible. Key features include recycling and reuse, encouraging the redesign of products to be reused, repaired, or recycled, reducing waste and minimizing resource extraction. Closed-loop systems, designing industrial processes that reuse waste products as inputs, minimizing environmental impact. Trade-offs and challenges. While sustainable development offers a pathway to long-term prosperity, it involves trade-offs that need to be carefully managed. Economic growth vs. environmental sustainability. Policies that reduce carbon emissions or resource extraction can sometimes slow short-term economic growth. However, proponents argue that investing in sustainable development now can prevent more severe economic disruptions in the future due to environmental degradation and climate change. Social equity vs. environmental regulation. Stringent environmental regulations can increase the cost of production, potentially leading to job losses or higher prices for consumers. Policymakers must strike a balance between protecting the environment and ensuring social and economic well-being. Developed vs. developing countries. Developing countries often face the dilemma of needing rapid economic growth to lift people out of poverty while avoiding the unsustainable practices of industrialized nations. International cooperation and financing mechanisms are essential to support sustainable development in these contexts. Case studies in sustainable development. Germany's Energiewende. Germany has pursued an ambitious energy transition policy, known as Energiewende, which aims to reduce carbon emissions by phasing out nuclear power and promoting renewable energy sources. While the policy has made significant strides in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, it has also faced challenges, such as rising energy costs and reliance on coal. China's green growth strategy. As the world's largest emitter of greenhouse gases, China has adopted various policies to promote green growth, including investments in renewable energy and the introduction of a national carbon market. However, balancing rapid economic growth with environmental sustainability remains a challenge. Costa Rica's Sustainable Development Model. Costa Rica has achieved remarkable progress in sustainable development, particularly in renewable energy and biodiversity conservation. The country generates nearly all of its electricity from renewable sources and has invested heavily in ecotourism. Costa Rica's success demonstrates that small economies can lead the way in sustainability. Conclusion: sustainable development is essential for ensuring long-term economic prosperity, environmental health, and social equity. Macroeconomic policies play a crucial role in guiding economies toward sustainability by shaping incentives, regulating markets, and redistributing resources. While there are trade-offs and challenges to be managed, sustainable development offers a framework for building resilient economies that can meet the needs of both present and future generations.